my normal sanctuary Sunday, but you know me, when I see something by the side of the road, I'm going to stop by. So this is a special Kilroy from the road. This isn't too far away from my house. This is the Sherwood Rader Farm Civil War Park. There was a battle or skirmish here in May 1863. And so let's get into the park here. You got this little wooden fence here. I'm gonna step over this. I just did this so you can see the outward sign, but here it is. A little bit of a park of sorts. We'll go to that place way off there in the distance. But let's see what we have here first. So we've got the Raiders Farm Civil War Park. The Civil War action on this field was part of a series of events in May 1863 that intensified southwest Missouri's bitter guerrilla conflict and ultimately left most of Jasper County depopulated and in ruins by war's end. In early May, Union forces established a small outpost at Baxter Springs to secure the vital supply lines between Fort Scott, Kansas, and Fort Gibson in Indian Territory, now Oklahoma. And I've covered the Baxter Springs battle a couple occasions, both the site and there's a museum there. And I'll put a link to that in this description. Confederate guerrillas operating in western Jasper County, Missouri under Major Thomas Livingston posted the principal threat. On May 18th, following a week of earlier engagements between opposing armies, Livingston surprised about 50 soldiers of the 1st Kansas Colored Infantry and 2nd Kansas Battery as they foraged at Rader Farm just east of this site. Livingston's 67 men routed the soldiers, killing 18, including several African-American troops who tried to surrender. Falling back, the Federals made a stand on this property before retreating to Kansas. So that took place, it says, east of this site. So that would have been that direction. So somewhere along that direction was the skirmish, and then they made a final stand here. On May 19th, Union troops from Baxter Springs, bent on revenge, returned to the scene, although Livingston's band eluded the force. The Federals captured and executed John Bishop, known to be a Southern sympathizer. They proceeded 3 miles northwest to Sherwood near the intersection of JJ Highway and Fur Road. Well, Fur Road is north along that direction. There it goes east-west north of there. There we go. Because this third largest town in Jasper County was a guerrilla base, all of the businesses and homes of the 250 inhabitants were burned. The town was never rebuilt. Indeed, for the remainder of the war, a cycle of burned homes and revenge killings perpetrated by both sides devastated the entire region. Hey, thanks all for jumping in here and putting in the live chat. That's awesome. A 2015 archaeological study at this site provided important evidence regarding the likely course of the Battle of Raiders Farm. We invite you to tour the area and read further information gleaned from this study and from written accounts written by both sides. So here we go, some of the information here. There's the regimental flag of the 1st Kansas Colored Infantry. There's William Matthews, recruited a company of 81 men for service in the 1st Kansas Colored Infantry in 1862. This regiment has successfully defended its position at Island Mound, Missouri in 1862. As a result, the 1st Kansas is on record as the first regiment of black troops to engage in combat during the Civil War. In 1863, the regiment was reorganized and officially mustered into service of the United States Army at Fort Scott, Kansas, which again is north of here, well north of here on the Kansas side. We are in the Missouri side here. Hugh Thompson and his family lived near Sherwood on Center Creek in the mid-1800s. He enlisted in the 3rd Wisconsin Cavalry Company C and served the Union in this area. Okay. He was shot 4 to 5 times at Rader Farm, and he carried several of these bullets in his body until his death till 1908. So 4 to 5 times and lived to 1908. Gotta like that. Cameron Garrett of the 2nd Kansas Light Artillery on May 18th, while foraging for corn from Rader's farm, approximately 25 men from the 1st Kansas Infantry and 22 mounted men from Garrett's unit were attacked by Major Thomas Livingston. 5 infantrymen and 3 artillerymen were killed. Cameron Garrett was killed after being taken prisoner. And then we get a chance to see some of the park. This was Sherwood. Here's the Rader farm where we're at right now. And the Federals escaped this way. So you see a little bit of movement of the battle there. And Baxter Springs is off in that direction, probably, I would say maybe 30 miles, maybe 20 to 30 miles that direction. You can see here's Baxter Springs, and here's Sherwood. We're right on the Missouri-Kansas border and into Oklahoma right there. This is the Four Corners area of southwest Missouri. So there we have it. So let's go take a look at that plaque that's out there and see what we can find. Thanks all for stopping by. I've done a few lives. Normally I do live feeds regarding gaming, but done a few other lives, and I've heard about this place. Actually, I was at my friendly local gaming store and they mentioned, hey, there's a plaque off the road north of here. And he knows that I dabble in history and the like, so he said you need to check it out. So that's what I'm doing, checking it out. We'll stop by that. I doubt that was a structure here during the time period based on those cinder blocks there. Getting my exercise today. This is my Sunday walk. Normally I do my Sunday walk with my girls, but they are home studying right now. Here we go. It's pretty cool. Ambush and retreat from Rader Farm, Jasper County, May 18th, 1863. Shooting began in the rear and almost instantly all around us. In surrounding us, the enemy had cut off the 6 men on picket, 20 unarmed men loading corn, and 5 teamster also unarmed, leaving but 29 men hemmed in a short, narrow lane with a gate at one end, with arms to fight our way out. Without knowing it, we had rode into a trap. That was Hugh Thompson, 3rd Wisconsin Cavalry. I think that's the guy that got shot 4 or 5 times, if I read that correctly. Official records do not give details of the action at Rader's Farm. One eyewitness, Lieutenant Hugh Thompson of the 3rd Wisconsin Cavalry, wrote down his account many years later. His account conveys that there was resistance after an initial surprise. This occurred further west of the farm. That's interesting. So west of the farm would be off in that direction there. But his is the only statement to that fact. Now, after a 2015 archaeological study at this location, evidence found proves that the fight did take place here roughly a quarter of a mile west of the Rader Farm. So again, if this is the location of the Rader Farm, it'd be off in that direction there. Okay, you are standing where several artifacts were found, roughly a line south to north across where the path they were caught in headed out towards Sherwood. Fired and smashed muskets, rounds, drops, rounds, and other items show that a stand was made right here by members of the 1st Kansas Colored Infantry. Very interesting there. So we have infantry horn and strap from the forage cap. This type of cap was worn by the 1st Kansas Colored. I imagine that was found here. And then here we get a chance to see the site here. So there's Livingston's attack. Here's the Rader's Farm approximate location where we're standing. The Union retreat. And then the artifact field. So if I'm reading this right, Yeah, but this is Fountain Road. That seems to go north and south, so I don't know if it's this direction or if it's actually right over in this direction. By that map, it would tend to suggest it's over there. If my bearings on Fountain Road, because I believe this is Fountain Road right along here, so that would put it right there. But I could be off. But this is the entire park here. Little fenced off a little bit. Then we got houses starting over there. And I don't think there's anything out that way, but the fence kind of continues out that way. Off to that road right up there. Go a little bit closer, there's the fence. Assume it's part of this, but I could be wrong. There you have it. Ambush and retreat from Rader Farm. So you got two plaques out here at Rader's Farm, where there was an ambush by a Confederate force led by Livingston, Mr. Livingston, I presume, and then a stand by the 1st Kansas Colored Infantry. You know, there's a lot of these little skirmishes that really never get a footnote in time. Not even a footnote in time. Just a distant memory that nobody knows about. So based on those cinder blocks, I don't know. This is more of a recent construction. I don't know what this is used for, or if it's just someone's property now. We'll walk up to the other placard here, and then call it a day. I might try to come back out here closer to the date of the battle. That'd be kind of cool, on May 18th, which is right around my birthday. I tend to try to follow battles and historical events that happen on my birthday. Got the United States flag and the Missouri flag there. And there you have it. That is my live tour of Rader's Farm Civil War Park. Thank you so much for stopping by, sharing some history with me. I'll probably try to read up a little bit more on this, but as it's noted here, and as I said before, this was a very small engagement, although lives were lost. There's not a ton of history on it. It was a written account years later, and actually dug up again, pardon the pun, when they found some archaeological evidence. I believe either that direction or that direction. Can't quite tell from the way they put out the maps. They put out directions and then the maps don't really match up. Anyway, thank you all for stopping by. Appreciate you, and spend some time